Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the new Last of Us Season 2 episodes. Episode 1 and Episode 2, because as of this recording, these are the only two episodes that are out currently. And I kind of just wanted to briefly talk about these two episodes, my thoughts and opinions, things that I didn't like about it, things I did like about them, or these episodes. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so just going off the episodes that we have right now, episodes 1 and 2. So far, I am enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the episodes that I've seen. Yeah, and so far I'm enjoying the show. Specifically, I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the story so far. Obviously, the story is following the story of the game so far, with little deviations and different changes that I've noticed so far. Obviously. But so far I'm enjoying the show. Specifically talking about, I guess, the first episode. The first episode, I think, actually opens up differently from the game, because if I remember correctly, in the game, you start with Joel basically telling Tommy, you know, what happened at the Fireflies, and basically him telling Tommy that, hey, I killed all these people to save Ellie, and I basically doomed the world basically by not letting Ellie be the cure for humanity or whatever. And so we start off the first episode of this season, or season 2, not with that, but with Abby and I guess her friends kind of mourning the loss of the Fireflies that, you know, Joel killed, and Abby specifically mourning over the loss of her dad, who, you know, which was one of the doctors that Joel ended up killing last season. And so I gotta say, Abby so far, and I know we'll get a little bit into it because obviously in episode 2, you know, there's something that specifically happens in season 2 that's, you know, very big to the second game. But as far as episode 1, I think this is the only scene we see her in episode 1 at least. And this is a flashback scene. And so it's interesting that, because in the game, and I'm going full spoilers with this, in the game, we don't know Abby's motivations for why he's killing Joel until, I think, like halfway into the game, I think, or like, you know, we don't get it. We don't understand why she's doing what she's doing at the beginning. We only get that, you know, later on in the game. So it's interesting that they're deciding to basically right out the jump say, hey, this is the character, this is why she dislikes Joel, and yeah, and so I think that's really interesting. But so far, and I've heard a lot of people complain about this, that she's not muscular, or she's not like super, you know, ripped or like whatever. And in my opinion, that I can definitely see why it I guess it bothers some people, because in the game, the whole reason why she is that, you know, buff and like strong and like muscular in the game is because she's like this because whenever she does, or whenever she gets the chance to meet whoever killed her father, she wants to be physically ready and mentally ready, but especially physically ready. And so I would say that's probably one of the biggest things about the character in the game that they kind of take away from the show. And so I could see why some people are, you know, kind of like, well, okay, why'd they do that? Because, you know, she's supposed to be intimidating this opposing force, because in the game she's like freaking bodying like freaking infected with like her bare hands. Just freaking raw dogging, like punching and infected with her bare hands. And so like I can understand, like, because in the Abby in the show, she's looking kind of scrawny, like she doesn't have any like muscles to her. She's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's maybe had some training, like maybe she knows how to fight, but like in terms of her like physical prowess or her physical look, she doesn't really have that. And for me personally, it doesn't really necessarily bother me, but I can definitely see why people are, I guess, a little disappointed by that, I guess. But moving on in the episode. So the show takes place 5 years after the events of the first game, just like the game, I'm pretty sure. And we see Ellie and Joel are now living in Jackson. Obviously, Ellie is much older. Joel is older now. We get to see characters that were in the second game now. So we get to see Dina, and we get to see Jesse, and we get to see their relationships with, you know, Ellie and Joel and these characters. And well, obviously, we get to see Ellie and Dina's relationship. Ellie obviously has a crush on Dina. And we kind of get to see like their banter with each other, their freaking I guess their chemistry with each other, and so I thought that was good. We also get to see a new, or not new infected. Well, yeah, we get to see a new infected in this episode. We actually get to see the stalker. Which I think was an enemy type in the second game. And obviously, Ellie is the one who takes on the stalker. And in this episode, the stalker is kind of like portrayed as like this, I guess like more of like a stealthy. It kind of like hides around places, and it kind of like attacks you. It kind of does like surprise attacks on you. And it's I guess it's just like the game, because like in the game, like you would have the stalkers and they would like hide in some places, and like you would have to like find them and stuff like that. And so I really thought the involvement of that type of infected in this episode was interesting and cool to see. We also get to see, obviously, Joel is back in the season, obviously, and we get to see him and Ellie's like relationship, and how it's kind of changed, I guess, and how I guess things have happened in between the 5 years that we've seen these characters, and it's kind of grown this rift between Ellie and Joel, because, and we're gonna go full spoilers, we're gonna talk about everything. So if you haven't played the game, if you haven't seen the show, probably shouldn't be watching this. But they haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm guessing the reason why Ellie is not really like vibing with Joel anymore is because she knows that, you know, Joel was the one who killed the fireflies and took her away from, you know, the whole thing, and she's obviously mad at him for that. But we haven't gotten to that part yet in the season. But we do see Joel actually going to therapy in this episode, which is a new thing that they never did in the game. He goes to like this therapist, and the therapist is basically talking to him about, like, you know, hey Joel, just tell the truth, like talk about what's on your mind, like tell me what basically happened, like why do you feeling the way that you feel, or like whatever, and why do you think you and Ellie's relationship is not as good as it, once was. And I gotta say, this scene was pretty, I like this scene. I specifically enjoyed Pedro Pascal's performance in this scene. I thought he did pretty good in this scene. And it's basically, I would say, because in the first game, well, and I talked about this earlier in the video, the game opens with Joel telling Tommy what he did at the Firefly place, and basically it was him justifying why he did what he did, because he wanted to save Ellie, because he saw her as a kind of like a daughter, or kind of like a daughter figure in his life. And so I think this scene with the therapist kind of replaces that scene with Joel and Tommy, because in this scene, the therapist is obviously asking, like, what happened, Joel? Like, what did you do, Joel? Like, why do you think there is a rift between you and Ellie? And he obviously explains to her why, why things are the way that they are. I don't think he specifically says that he killed the Fireflies, or like he killed a bunch of people just to take Ellie away. But I think he does bring up the fact that he saved her from something that happened. But I don't think he goes too much into detail of what that is. I'm not really sure. I could be wrong though.
Jesus Christ, Joel. What do you do?
I saved her.
Did you hurt her? Then what? What did you do?
I saved her.
So the last scene that I really want to talk about in this episode specifically is the dance scene between Ellie and Dina. Like in the game, Jackson kind of has like this, I guess, family dance, or like whatever you want to call it, or dance, or like party, or like whatever you want to call it. Just like in the game, they have like this dance, and Ellie's there, Jesse's there, obviously Dina is there too, and obviously just like in the game, Ellie and Dina kind of share like this dance together, and in that dance, and they're like dancing together, and like they're having a fun time, like everything, they end up kissing basically, and when that happens, I can't remember the guy's name, but like he's like in the game he's called Seth. In the show he's called Seth too, but he basically calls them a word that I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna repeat, but he basically calls them like a homophobic like slur, and Ellie's all mad at the guy, but before she can do anything, Joel obviously intervenes. He like shoves the guy, like pushes the guy down, because that's Joel at his core. He's gonna protect Ellie any way he can, even if it's like the slightest like jab, or like kind of like the slightest, like even if it's not really anything like threatening, or like anything, like he's still gonna protect, because he sees her as his daughter, because so he's gonna do anything he can for her. And in that moment he pushes the guy, and Ellie in her moment, she's like, okay, hey Joel, I don't need your help, like I'm fine by myself, like I don't need your help at all, because obviously she's still mad at him. And this scene is kind of like what I guess one of the negatives I've have about this season, and not even this season, I think even the first season I felt kind of this way too, is that whenever they have a certain scene that is I don't want to say blatantly, but like whenever they have a scene that's kind of like ripped right out of like the game, or they have certain lines that are like straight out of the game, and they do it in the show. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I do feel like whenever they do those scenes or they say those lines that are in the game, it doesn't really hit the same as it did in the game. Like, there are some scenes that I remember in the first season where, like, okay, this scene is well acted. The actors are obviously doing a good job in the scene, and the scene itself is a good scene, I think. But for some reason, like, in my brain, I don't know what it is, but like something in my brain is telling me like, okay, I like the scene, but it's not as good as like how they did it in the game though, or how they didn't say this line as well as they said it in the game though, or like whatever.
Every guy in this room is staring at you right now. Maybe they're staring at you. They're not. Maybe they're jealous of you.
No reason to be. I'm not a threat.
Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified of you. Every guy in this room is staring at you right now. Maybe they're staring at you. Or not. Maybe they're jealous of you. I'm just a girl, not a threat. Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified of you.
And I feel like a part of that could be that, like, I've played the game first, so I kind of have a bias for the game, and it could be that too. But I don't know, there are just some scenes where characters will be delivering the same lines from the game, and I'm just like, okay, that didn't really hit the same for me. I'm sorry. But that's just kind of how I feel about certain scenes. But yeah. Okay, so moving on to episode 2. I thought this episode was also pretty good. I enjoyed this episode. There are some things that happened in this episode that are very big. Well, there's one particular thing that happens in this episode that is probably the thing that we've been waiting on ever since season 1. Like we were waiting on how they were gonna adapt this scene, how it was gonna play out in live action, and it is finally here. And yes, spoiler warning, I've been saying spoiler warning this entire episode, but if you're still here and any of you have not played the game and you have not watched the show, I'm telling you to leave right now, because we're about to talk about a very important scene from the game. But yes, I am talking about Joel's death at the hands of Abby in this episode. And I don't want to talk about that scene just yet. I do want to talk about other things in this episode, but so starting off with episode 2, the episode opens with Abby. We get to see more of her character, and we get to see basically the first scene of this episode. We basically get to see the hallway, or I guess like the freaking Firefly hallway that Abby goes through to basically, because, you know, she's basically having a dream in this moment, because there's like a version of Abby where like she doesn't know what's about to happen to her dad, but there's like another version of Abby that's talking to the other Abby, and like the other Abby's like, you better not go in that room, because if you go in that room, you're gonna see something that you're not gonna like. And the other Abby's like, what the freak are you talking about? And so basically it ends up being a dream. And they do this in the game too, where like there are some segments where Abby is like having like a nightmare, or she's having like a dream about like how her dad died basically. And so it's basically that from the game basically. And basically opens with Abby having this nightmare, and then she wakes up, and then we basically get to see like the cabin that they're in, just like the game, and obviously Abby is there, her friends are there, and we basically get to see like their interactions with each other, and they're talking about how, you know, Jackson is like super fortified, and they're probably not going to be able to get in there because they're looking for Joel and everything. So we get that. Actually, one of the things I wanted to bring up that I didn't really notice until now is that one of the I forget, I think her name was Gabriella Tatiana or something like that. But she's the chick from Intergalactic. I think she's playing the main character from Intergalactic. But I think she also plays Nora in this show. But she also plays Nora from the game too. So I think it's the same casting. Like, they brought back the same actress who played Nora from the game to play Nora from or play Nora in the show. And I think they've done that before with, I can't remember if it was, I think it was Maria, because I think they had the same actress who played Maria from the game play Maria in the actual show. So I guess, you know, they like doing that. I don't know. But we do get to see, you know, the group's interaction and like stuff like that. And also in this episode, in terms of the action in this episode, I gotta say, this is probably the best action I've seen in this show so far. Just like with the infected and everything, we get literally like a whole scene of like, we get like an army of infected basically attacking Jackson. And I gotta say, that whole segment of the infected attacking Jackson was pretty cool to see. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so it's finally time to talk about the scene that we've all been waiting for. So basically, Joel dies in this episode, and it's a scene, or I guess an episode we've all been anticipating since the first season, of how they would adapt or how they would bring this scene into live action. And seeing it for the first time was just as bad as seeing it in the game, because obviously, you know, when you know what's about to happen, you're kind of like dreading it, and you're kind of like anticipating it, and you're just waiting for that moment of like, okay, I know this is gonna happen. Let's just get it over with. It's like when you go to like the dentist, or like when you go to like any like, or when you have to go, or like maybe when you have to go like when you have to do like a presentation or like whatever, and you're just anticipating that moment of having to do that thing that you really don't want to see or do. And that was basically this scene, for me at least. And I gotta say, this scene, and I said this in this video again, I think the scene was well performed. Don't get me wrong. Freaking, what's her name? Caitlin Dever or Denver, or whatever her name is. I think she did a pretty good job acting-wise in this scene. But I don't know if it's just like because she's not like physically imposing, or like she's just not intimidating, and she just doesn't look intimidating. It kind of, I don't want to say it takes me out of the scene, but like, I'm not really feeling threatened by her presence or like whatever in this scene. And obviously, you know, she gives like the speech of like, you know, do you remember like, or she basically tells Joel that, you know, you're the one who basically killed my father. He was one of the doctors that you killed, and I'm the daughter of her, and she's basically here, and I'm basically here to get revenge on you, basically, and kill you. And so this scene plays out. It plays out similarly to the game. Obviously, there are some differences, notably, just in the way that she tortures Joel. Obviously, she uses the golf club, but like she doesn't, because in the I think in the game I think the only thing she does use to beat Joel is the golf club, but in this scene, like the golf club like breaks like after like two or three swings, and it's just like, oh, okay. And so like she's basically just like punching him this whole entire time, and I'm just like, how? Not saying that like she isn't, you know, she couldn't like take someone out, and like, I don't know, bro, like we've only seen like a little bit of this version of Abby, and so like we haven't really seen like what she's like physically capable of in like an actual fight, I feel like. And so, you know, we just get her like punching on Joel, punching his head, freaking punching his body, basically. And obviously Ellie shows up in the scene just like the game, and she gets pinned down, and she has to watch basically Abby kill Joel in this moment. And it's a pretty gruesome scene, just like in the game. Abby freaking smashes Joel's freaking head in with the golf club, but in this episode she like uses the broken piece of the golf club to basically stab Joel's neck, and that's how she kills Joel in this version of the scene. And so overall the scene was very, I would say the scene was very well acted, but like it just didn't really. And that's what I said about like some of the other scenes. Some of the other scenes for me too. Like it's well acted. Like the actors are doing a good job, and they're doing what they need to be doing for the scene. But like it just doesn't hit the same, and I don't know why. There are some lines that they kind of change up. I feel like whenever they kind of do their own thing, and they don't strictly adhere to like what the game does, like I feel like it is I feel like it is good. Like it feels unique, and it feels good, I guess. But like whenever they try to rip lines directly from the game, like sometimes it just doesn't work for me. And so obviously Ellie is on the floor, she's crying, she's sobbing, she's super distressed about what's happening, and obviously in this version, Ellie, after, you know, they're done killing Joel, they like leave, and it's just Ellie and Joel left there, and Ellie basically crawls to Joel and basically is like, you know, I guess just she's, I don't know really how to describe it, but she's just in this moment of like grieving, and like she can't really believe that Joel is dead in this moment, and so I guess she just can't handle this just handle just the situation that she's in right now, and so just in terms of the acting, I think Bella Ramsey did a pretty good job in this scene. I thought Caitlin Dever did a pretty good job in this scene. I just don't think it hit as hard as it did in the game, so I don't know, that's just my opinion though. It's gonna be interesting to see how, because in the game, after, you know, Abby kills Joel, you basically go on this revenge murder quest, just like literally killing everyone who gets in your way just to get to Abby. So it's gonna be interesting how they adapt that type of Ellie from the game into live action, because I have seen a lot of people complain about like how they think that Bella Ramsey, even though she is a good actress and she does a good job at portraying Ellie, they kind of feel that like in terms of her physical capabilities and how she looks, obviously she doesn't like look like Ellie, but like her looking like Ellie doesn't really bother me as much. I guess my really own concern is how Bella Ramsey is gonna portray a Ellie that's on a revenge quest, like she's like murdering people, she's like this super violent, like I just really am interested to see how they're gonna like handle that version of Ellie in live action with Bella Ramsey. But I don't know, we'll just have to see though. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. I do want to talk more about season 2 as the episodes go along. I don't know if I'm going to be reviewing every single episode that comes out. I might just wait until like the last episode and just give my full thoughts then. But so far I'm enjoying it. There are some things that I like. There are some things that I'm like, okay, maybe you could have done this better. But overall, I'm enjoying the show so far. And so yeah. Leave down in the comment section below your thoughts and opinions on what you think of the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us Season 2. And yeah, man, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And I will see you guys in the next one.